Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Habaita. Today, I'm so excited to be joined by Chen Markman, who is the co founder and CEO of Avon AI. So nice to see you, Chen. I'm so happy that you're here.
Hi, nice to see you, and thank you for having me in your podcast.
My pleasure. So, Chen, Avon AI, when I hear Avon, because I'm older, my head goes somewhere else. But maybe just share a little bit about Avon AI. Clearly, you're in the AI space and what kind of problem and challenge you guys are solving.
Yes, so we started the company a bit more than a year ago. Both me and my co-founder, we led AI teams in regulated industries. What we saw is that even though there is a huge hype around AI and AI agents, a lot of companies are still having challenges actually deploying those capabilities to their end customers, specifically in regulated areas where even a small mistake can be very costly. So in order to solve it and actually help more and more companies deploy and enjoy the benefits of AI, we have created a new business management layer that allows business teams and operations teams to control and gain visibility into what AI agents are doing in production so that they will be able to trust them and actually deploy more and assign more and more sensitive tasks to AI agents.
Okay, so I have a lot of questions because I myself build a tremendous amount of AI agents. Okay, so I'm very familiar with building them. I use tools like Claude Code and Lovable and Anti-Gravity. And I have to be honest, the coding behind it is garbage. Okay, because I also have a CTO and programmers on my team where I built, Smart Reach AI, not using my own kind of AI agents. And then I started experimenting with AI agents and building them myself. And everything needs to be recoded. Okay. Because
Yeah.
it's really terrible. So are you talking about now when somebody goes to these tools and uses it themselves? Or are you talking about going to a marketplace where they sell AI agents and you're already pulling it off the marketplace?
Yes. So usually the AI agents we focus on, think about a bank that wants to deploy a customer service AI agents. Usually it is not something you will just buy off the shelf or develop in a short time period. Those projects can take months to train and really fine tune your AI agent to your specific organizations. So we are speaking about larger projects that are going to help big organizations serve millions of customers. Those are usually the agents that we are focused on. Think about a bank that wants to deploy a customer service using AI, for example.
Right.
Those agents work at scale. They can conduct tens of thousands of conversations every day. Now, the challenge is how can you make sure that your agents work according to your business preferences and your business directives over time, specifically in sensitive areas?
So a lot of the banks I know are using and other, enterprise clients are using tools like Intercom and all these other available tools. So are you talking about using these kinds of tools and ensuring the security of them? Or many times the bank or other enterprise clients will build these AI agents on their own.
Yes, this is exactly what we are seeing. We're seeing banks and large organizations using Intercom, using those third party vendors for some of their interactions with customers,
Right.
but they're also building agents internally for more sensitive areas of their product to actually
Yeah.
help customers with more sensitive financial tasks. So it's a
Oh,
combination. And we see organizations deploying multiple agents by multiple vendors and agents that they are building themselves. Now, the
okay.
challenge is how can you make this new workforce work reliably over time in the most sensitive use cases?
Yeah, absolutely. So how does your technology then work in order to do this?
Great. So, what we do, first of all, we supply a neutral management layer that allows companies to manage multiple agents. We can do everything on prem because we work with sensitive companies.
Right.
Using the platform, business units can gain control over the whole cycle of an agent in production. First of all, is monitoring. You want to be able to analyze tens of thousands of interactions and make sure your agent is actually performing the way you want it to perform. So, this is the first part. Second part is adjustments. You will see when your agent is conducting conversations at scale, sometimes you will not be happy with the results and the way your agent is performing. So you will want to fix the behavior. And this is another thing we help do. And we can correct the behavior and adjust the behavior of agents that we didn't build. And this is the unique part about our technology.
Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes,
How would you adjust behavior? Yeah, that's really interesting.
yes, I will get to this in a minute. And the third thing that is really important is, let's say that I made a change. How can I make sure I didn't break anything? How can I make sure
Okay.
that when I change something, the
That is
performance doesn't drift?
By the way, I just have to share in my experience, that probably is the biggest challenge when you're dealing with building your own agents is the minute you ask for another feature or change this, I mean, the things that you just spent weeks building and fixing are broken again. In fact, that I keep prompting it to say, do not change any other code, when you make this change, right? And I had to create a whole system that would continuously test all the main features to make sure it's not broken because that was such a pain that cost me a ton of time and money. So I agree 100% that that is an amazing thing. So you spend time building something and then you want to add and create more. But then as soon as you do that, it starts breaking all your other components. So how do you do this? This is amazing. I want it.
Right, so this is exactly the life cycle, and it is very similar in coding agents and in internal workflows. We are focused on conversational agents that are interacting with your customers, and
Got it.
this is exactly the problem. You have developed something, now something changes because reality is dynamic. You change a document, you change a prompt, your underlying model is changing. So you need to constantly make sure that quality is still there. So first thing, it's monitoring and find potential problems. Second of all is fixing those problems. And third, we need to constantly check to make sure that our agents are still following our business directives. And this is what we do. And the challenge is how to bring it to the hands of people from operations and business units, not just AI experts, because we want to deploy at scale. So those are the challenges we work on. We are detecting problems. We have our own proprietary anomaly detection models that can analyze tens of thousands of conversations with real customers every day. And the challenge here is accuracy, because when you are working at scale, if you are not accurate enough and you have too many false alarms, your system can be unoperable very quickly if you have too many false alarms. And in order to actually fix performance of agents, we didn't build. So we work around those agents because every agent is built differently with different technology by different providers. Using our technology, we can change the overall performance of the system without understanding or without a deep understanding of the internal structure of each agent. And this is what's special about our technology. We do a lot of stuff through the surrounding of the agent, through analyzing the data the agent has access to and analyzing the tools the agent has access to and manipulating and changing the way the agent interact with real customers. So we are like a proxy in the middle of the process. And the continuous testing part, we are taking some of the methodologies from software design and we are bringing them to the world of agent management. So imagine that you can create a lot of scenarios, and whenever you are making a change to your agent, you can run all of those business scenarios and make sure that your agent still follows your directions. And by the way,
Yes. Huge. People don't realize how important that is, by the way. And I actually had to build that out myself, which was very difficult and I don't think works 100%. So I totally value what you're talking about because again, every time it breaks, like no matter what I do and it's how do I explain it? So this is so, so crucial. And the truth is, like you said, that most companies are doing this in house, but then don't have this technology as a layer on top to do the monitoring, to do the actual ensuring that it's secure, to make sure nothing's breaking. So let me just ask you a question then, Chen. Is your target audience primarily banks and enterprise that are dealing like B2C? Is that your primary that's dealing with customers and customer discussions through chat, etc.?
yes, so we are focused on B2C companies, and we are really focused on the toughest cases, regulated companies that require high quality and they want everything to be on their network. And this is another layer of the product. Everything needs to be on-prem. And by the way, what we see, it's not just a matter of what's right or wrong. It's not just an agent make mistakes. It's what's right or wrong for your specific organization in this specific time frame. Because if you are a bank, now you want to offer a new customer a specific product or a specific policy. But maybe a month from now, your business environment will change and you will want to offer them something else. So there's no right and wrong. There's what right and wrong for your business teams. And this is why it is so important to bring it to the hands of operations and business teams.
So just curious, okay, so in your experience, I'm sure this is gonna be very large, but let's say you took on a bank and several other customers that are, I'm sure it's also e-commerce because there's so many that are dealing directly with customers and they're all using AI now and AI agents. How many errors are you guys like the first step is kind of evaluating the development and the code, right? To like ensure that everything's stable. Is that a process that you guys go through to review the code? Like what's maybe just go through the process and then how many kind of mistakes you guys are finding and fixing?
Yes, so we are not reviewing the code, we are reviewing interactions, and we are detecting
Okay.
cases in which your agents are not behaving the way you want them to behave.
Got it.
Initially, when we start working with companies and we are deploying our software, we are running an analysis on all of the conversations to flag potential problems. And
Okay.
what we see over and over again, that even very good agents that are working in the field for months, we see a lot of problems. We see a lot of conversations that are not going the way the organization would have liked them to go. And people
Mhm.
are telling us a day after you deployed our system to their network, they can find problems that existed in the field and they existed for months without ever being noticed.
Wow.
And
Are those examples? Like what kind of problems?
yes, of course, I will give you several examples. For example, one of the customers who is not regulated, this is a travel agency that have a very good agent. They have an amazing agent, it works for years. After
Okay.
deploying our platform, they found a case, and it happened very quickly, that somebody tried to book a flight for the same day. Okay, so the customer wanted to book a flight for the same day. The agent didn't understand and offered him flights for 2027, a year after, for the same date. Using the
Okay.
platform, they were able to find it very quickly and fix it after one day. And then this problem wouldn't occur again. So they were able to find the problem after a single occurrences, and
Okay.
they don't have to wait for 200 customers to fail and someone to actively
Wow.
complain.
It's actually 200 sales right there, right? I mean, it's not just failing, like that's actual ROI that they're losing.
Yeah, and it's a very silent form of failures. The customer may say something,
Right.
the customer doesn't get the response they want, and then they quit and just buy it from someone else.
Because their experience is so awful, right? I can
And
imagine.
we never know.
Yeah. I could also just imagine the AI also. I don't know if you've seen this a lot, but the hallucination aspect too, where instead of it saying, let me check and get back to you, it'll just make up answers, right? Which are wrong and can cause harm to the business.
It just happened to us with one of our
Okay.
customers.
I saw your face with a little smile. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and it can happen in so many ways. It just happened to one of our customers. Again, they have a very good agent. It works for months. Quality is high, but they have changed something with in one part of their prompt. They wanted to make sure that after customers are filling out a specific form, they wanted to tell the customers that an email will be sent to them with a summary of the report or something like this. What actually happened is that all of a sudden, customers started to get responses that a customer service representative will go back to them by email. Now, there's no customer service representative that is going to go to them by email. And then people have just started waiting. So the agent just hallucinated that there is a customer service representative that is going to go back to them. And it is a terrible experience for their customers.
Wow.
So using
Yeah.
the platform, they were able to find it very quickly after several occurrences and fix it before it became a real incident. So we see it every day that agents are hallucinating, agents are like just mixing up with terminology. So by the
Yes.
way, and those are problems that are so hard to find because the English is perfect. It looks like the
Right.
conversation is about the topic. So you need to really
Yes,
analyze.
yes, yes. Wow, that's really unbelievable. And it's very interesting, Clem, because if you talk to a lot of kind of old school companies that are still, not yet, they've yet to adopt AI. This is the main reason why they say, listen, I'm not going to convert everything to AI. And I know because I also sell an AI, our technology, and we do outreach with AI and it's very dangerous. Like if you have things that are going out or posts that are being posted from a client's page and it's inaccurate, it really doesn't just, it's not that it's bad, it can harm them. can really harm them. And so a lot of companies are reluctant to fully automate and fully allow AI. And they're still, and I know it's something that we still do, is we make sure that there's a human, still in the loop because there are still mistakes that happen and we have to be really careful, right? But what your solution offers is kind of the next level, which is okay, you don't need the human, right? We're going to detect the problem. So I wonder, just out of curiosity, would you be able to detect, let's say in our technology, that the system is hallucinating because we have hundreds of clients and each client has their own set of, the way they work and their rules and who their clients are. And sometimes when we program the AI to create really out of the box messaging, it will make up things that are not true. Oh, we see that your client Coca-Cola and this made up case study, right? Which is not true. And so we have to go through and human wise, like detect and review and make sure that everything's accurate. So is the level of accuracy also something that your team will kind of review to make sure that all the instances are correct?
Yes, so we have ways to find hallucinations, to find all sorts of problems. And as you said, we also believe that humans should be part of the process. They
Okay.
don't have to be, you don't have to have humans on the loop on every conversation. We treat AI
Right.
agents like employees, but we
Yes.
believe that those employees should be managed.
They need
So,
managers. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
you,
I
you need
actually have,
someone.
sorry, go ahead.
Right? You need team leaders to manage this new workforce. Now, those team leaders, they need the tools to perform their job. They need a new management layer, and this is what we allow them to do.
I love it. And this actually goes into a very important discussion, which is the buzz everywhere now, which is like AI is replacing everyone's job, right? And it is a really big concern. Obviously, it's real. Like, definitely companies are able to automate. I know we did. We had an over 100 people team, and with automation and AI, was able to reduce to 23, which was pretty amazing. And it saved me a ton. However, the new roles that I hired were very much like you said, the ones that know how to manage the AI, right? And how to review and work with the AI. The AI becomes their tool, the AI becomes their assistant, right? And, for anyone that's out there in university now and looking for roles, actually, a good friend of mine, her son in law is learning programming. And she's like, I'm nervous because is programming even something that's important now? Right? Meaning, is AI going to replace all the pro jobs? And I said, I think the knowledge of programming with AI is so crucial because you can go and build all these tools, like I said, but it's not where it needs to be. And to be able to understand the code and understand how to work with the AI. And I think that goes for any role, customer supports, right? Operations, marketing, all of these roles require you to be able to be the manager of the AI. And that's where I wonder if universities now are starting to build just like AI management degrees, right? Because that is what we're going to need. That is the future of every single department right now.
And this is exactly what we believe, that humans are still need to be part of the system. You need
Yeah.
their specific expertise,
Yeah.
and you want to enhance them and allow them to actually manage more AI employees,
Yeah.
but you need the systems to help them do so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I also have another friend that created a whole company and he created different AI roles, different AI employees. And there's another podcast I had as well that's what they do. They build AI employees here in Israel. And so you name your employee. There's the CEO, even that's an AI agent, right? And then there's the head of HR, and they have meetings every day. They have stand ups, these AI agents. But then there's somebody, a human, overseeing all of them. So it's unbelievable what you can do now. But AI is not there yet. And so a company like Avon is so important in order to make sure that all the data is there for you. And that's the key. The data is there. But if you're not able to pinpoint what's going on and where the problems are, then the data is useless, right? So you can come back and say, hey, there's a one or two that are starting this. This could become 300 if you don't fix it now. Right. And here's 300 lost opportunities. So now the role is of the humans is to log in and see what the problems are. Right. And does your system recode it for them so that it prompts it correctly, or the human in the loop to say, okay, this fix this?
Yes, we find a problem, we suggest fixes, and the human in the loop can actually make the fix, but without entering into the code, because sometimes we need to manage agents that we didn't build.
For
So it's
sure.
so it's
Yeah.
we need to change the behavior, but from the outside. So we need to change the data in order to basically change the performance of the agent. We need to change the tools, change description of tools. We need to edit the prompts in the questions. We need to sometimes enrich questions before they reach the actual agents. And using all of those methods, we can very robustly and very reliably change the behavior of an agent, even if we didn't build it. And this is the very challenging part.
I was gonna say, if you don't build it, I know that it becomes very difficult, right? You probably still need to go in and make changes to the whole back end, right? In order for you to make those changes. But that's really amazing. And I'm thinking of so many companies that can really use this. And honestly, I know you said B2C, but I really could see this also working for many B2B companies as well that are providing that level of support to businesses and not necessarily customers and need to make sure that this is as accurate and top level as it can be. So I think it's amazing. And where do you go from here? Like, what is your dream outcome right now for 2026, 2027?
Yes. So we started with several companies. Now we are serving bigger and bigger organizations. Now we put all of our emphasis on expanding to the US and Europe. So
Mm,
we're starting to work with bigger and bigger players from around the world. We see a lot of demand. A lot of companies, they heard about AI, they experienced with AI, they had a POC, they had demos. Now they want to see real our and they want to deploy it. They think about how to do it in a safe and reliable way, and we provide them with a way to do it. So we're
mm,
developing something that
mm.
we believe every regulated company will need to have if they want to deploy agents to sensitive scenarios.
Yes, I love that, and I love that it's basically you really have your niche market of exactly who is gonna need you and identified such a pain for these companies that are regulated. They can't afford these mistakes from AI, so they really do need you, and I love that you are an Israeli company bringing this to the rest of the world and helping the rest of the world. So, Chen, it was so nice to meet you, and really, thank you so much for joining Habaita. I wish you only the biggest success in the world.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. And I really like your podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much.